In our first story, the minority spokesperson on Defense and Interior, James Agalga, has called on the president to order deployment of the Ghana Armed Forces to complement the Ghana Police Service to combat the armed robbery situation and the tense security situation in the country. Mr. Agalga believes the police service is heavily under-resourced and also lacks the capacity to confront head-on the increasing trend of crime. Different parts of Ghana have recorded attacks more recently by armed robbers since the beginning of the year, beginning with rampant attacks in the past few days. Well, the Busan North Member of Parliament is also confident the intervention of the military could be a stopgap measure to halt the current trend of the crime wave.
It's becoming one too many. So, yes, the president needs to deal with the issue of the constraints in terms of logistics. He's giving us his word. The clock has started ticking, and so would want to wait and see whether within 6 months the logistics the president talked about would be procured for the use of the police service. Having said that, I think that is in the medium term. 6 months is quite some time. You'd want to ask what interim measures can the government or should the government put in place to stem the incidents of robberies in the country. I would think that the time has come for the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, to deploy the armed forces to support the police service, to deal with the issue of armed robbery as an interim measure, whilst we await for the police service to be retooled and of course, giving refresher training programs.
And on the show, we'll do more discussions on crime. But let's move on. The Ashanti Regional Directorate of the Ghana Health Service faces a legal action from a supplier for failing to pay for services provided to the medical stores. Well, we have authorities saying that they will not disclose the identity of the creditor and others they owe, but information available suggests that huge sums of money are said to be involved. The indebtedness of the medical stores is due to irregular payment of claims by the National Health Insurance Authority. The Regional Director of Health, Dr. Emmanuel Tinkrine, says suppliers currently are reluctant to honor requests by some health facilities for supplies in the region. He warns hospitals and other health facilities in the region could run out of stock, and there could be some crisis if the situation continues.
Of challenge, and it's based on the supplies that we have, because most of the suppliers, because we are not paying them, because insurance is also not paying, they've refused to supply us with drugs. And some of them we own so much, they've even taken us to court and other things. So we believe that the regional medical stores should not die. So there's the need for us to pay the regional medical stores. So the regional medical stores will also pay the suppliers for them to supply us with the drugs that we will need to provide the needed health care to our people.
And will you say it's on the verge of collapse?
For me, standing here, you saw it from the indicator that we have something we call tracer drug availability. In the moment the tracer drug availability goes down, then it means that you want to collapse your system. Yeah, so from the indicator, it's negative. And we believe that we won't go in that direction because there's a need to revamp it.
The implication, what would be the implication if
the regional medical stores supplies us with drugs? So if the regional medical stores is not there, where are we going to get our drugs to give to the patients? It's going to affect service delivery. So I was saying it to emphasize the need for us to pay the regional medical stores. And if we are talking about that, that means that insurance will also have to pay.
Away from health, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has directed the country's Lands Commission to work towards digitizing processes in Ghana's land administration system, describing as unacceptable data showing that only 10% of Ghana's Land Commission's documents are digitized. Well, Dr. Bawumia has therefore charged the Lands Commission to design a roadmap for land administration reforms. The Vice President said this at the Land Administration Reform Conference that was convened in Accra.
Land and land management issues connect every facet of the national sphere. Rules of land tenure, how they are applied, how they are administered, from land ownership and land uses, have always played an important role in shaping the political, economic, and social processes of societies. In many parts of the world, the seeming abundance of land does not necessarily mean that it is available, accessible, and usable. The way we govern land and its administration, Mr. Chairman, dictates how well land can contribute to the process of how we build our economies and even to the distribution of wealth in society. Mr. Chairman, land provides an essential platform for growth and development of every nation. Hence the importance I attach to this conversation here today. And I strongly believe that this forum will set the right tone for an all-inclusive and frank discussion that will help government roll out strategic interventions for effective and efficient land administration in Ghana. I'm informed that LAP 1, LAP 2, and other similar projects have either produced or are producing orthophoto maps covering specific areas of the country for various purposes. These, combined with the recently introduced digital address system, should help us generate comprehensive spatial data about land in the country. We will therefore need to consider how fit-for-purpose approaches can be adopted in the provision of spatial data for multiple purposes. Ghana has started a pilot project with the implementation of the Ghana Land Information System, the GELIS, and the Land Use Planning Management System. But with all the investments made, and there's been considerable investment, only 10% of the legacy data at the Lands Commission has so far been digitized. Only 10%. This is unacceptable.
For years, infrastructural deficit continues to negatively affect basic education in Ghana. Well, particularly DA Basic School in the Adan West District here in the Greater Accra region is said to be one of many schools relying on churches for classrooms that could otherwise have been held under trees. And they lack furniture, sanitary facilities, and appropriate learning materials. Correspondent Kwame Yanka found the following report.
Voices of children at Koti Tekope DA Basic School who are eager to climb the academic ladder. Yet that desire is being chipped off gradually on a daily basis due to several challenges, including near-death situations. Kindergartens 1 and 2 are currently accommodated in the Church of Jesus after the previous church building in which they studied collapsed over a year ago. Here's headmaster of the school, Joseph Alimo.
The committee to the PTA came together to try to put up a pavilion, which we have started last year. Luckily, the district assembly has come to our aid through the DCE, which is nearing completion. So at the moment, we have Form 1 in another church building, KG 1 and 2 in another church building, P1 to P5 in the original KG facility, then P6, Form 2 and Form 3 in the pavilion that the committee is putting up.
It's basically a cry for help from the Education Ministry, Ghana Education Service, other relevant authorities and philanthropists. According to the headmaster, Joseph Alimo, the absence of a toilet facility means both teachers and pupils have to resort to open defecation.
Last 2 years, we had a fundraising forum where we were trying to raise funds to put up something by our own self. Luckily, Minister of Health heard or saw the clip and they came to our rescue. Unfortunately, the contractor is here to complete the project. Since then, 2 years ago, we are only pleading. I don't know whether the contractor will have to be changed or have to be empowered financially to help complete it. It's unfortunate we do the fringe. I must be very frank, but we've provided these washing bowls where when they come back, make sure they actually do the right thing in order to spread whatever disease might have been around.
The Ada West District Chief Executive, Ajote Lawea Krofi, says his outfit is aware of the problem.
I also took the advantage to inspect an ongoing project. In fact, a project which had been stalled since 2012, I was told, and it's a GET fund property. Unfortunately, with GET fund facilities, by regulations, we cannot continue even if we have the funds. So what I'm doing now is that I'm taking steps to get all the GET fund projects which have been stalled so that we could go back to GET fund to get them to continue the projects.
Until crucial school projects undertaken by the GET fund are completed, there remains little hope for pupils here. Kwame Yanka's report for JoyNews.
Woodworkers at the Sokoban Wood Village in Kumasi are accusing personnel of the Timber Industry Development Division of the Forestry Commission of extortion. They say officials are in the habit of casting doubt over the authenticity of documents covering lumber in transit in order to seize the consignment without justification.
We are pleading with authorities that they should change their minds because we are also Ghanaians. This is the document they always ask us to procure to be able to facilitate transportation of lumber. This document should be able to take us everywhere across the country. If they do not stop seizing our goods, we will stop paying taxes and we will also destroy the toll booths. Why? We will not agree.
About 35 vehicles load lumber here every day, creating over 10,000 jobs for both artisans and ancillary services. But the situation may change.
This is because transporting legally sawn lumber from sawmills to domestic market is being challenged. For cost effectiveness, efficiency, and custom focused, the Timber Export Development Board and the Forest Product Inspection Bureau were merged in 2002 into the Timber Industry Development Division, TIDD. The function of the TIDD is to provide specialized services in promoting efficiency in product quality assurance and value addition in the timber industry and trade consistent with best environmental practices. All prospective buyers of timber and wood product are required to officially register with TIDD by completing the Form B119 for processing and issuance of buyer's registration certificate. Woodworkers say they have always complied with this. Abubakar Khalifa is Public Relations Officer.
We do comply with all the orders, all the procedures, but just that sometimes we find it difficult to understand them. Let me give you an instance where we loaded a vehicle from a sawmill. Then the sawmill owner called the TIDD person to issue us with the TIDD documentation so that we're able to convey the goods from the sawmill to the marketplace, in this case, Sokoban Wood Village. The TIDD person said he's not coming unless we bring we move the car to BBNE. I'm talking about safety, and he has us to bring the car to BBNE. Meanwhile, on your way to BBNE, if any of them arrest you on the way, he'll complain that you don't have any documentation, so that meanwhile, you are carrying illegal lumber. And either he will extort money from you, or he may even go to the extent of seizing the lumber.
The workers claim the role of the Forestry Services Division and TIDD are not clearly defined, leading to extortion.
What do they want, or what are they looking from us? Because if I'm carrying a lumber and I know the lumber I'm carrying, I bought it from legal source, then I find it difficult to appreciate that a task force who is not even well versed into the industry will be able to tell me that what I'm carrying is not sawmill, it's not legally sourced, but rather a chainsaw. When I know very well that what I'm having is, and I can produce documents to show that I have a legal lumber that I'm transporting with.
Here is the patron of the workers and chief of Abodam, Nana Saforo Koto. Meanwhile, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Lands and Natural Resources has paid a working visit to the Sokoban Wood Village. Chairman Francis Minu Adabo assures the workers their grievances will be resolved.
So what we want to do is to go back to Accra and then find out from the organizations, Forestry Commission and the other organizations, and be sure we streamline the process and make sure none of the parties will be affected. We will make sure our people here abide by the laws, and the Forestry Commission too, whatever they have to do to help these people, then we'll also do it. So we promise we're going to see them.
Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reporting.
And before we go, this has been capturing the headlines not only on mainstream media but also social media, and is already from the stables of the Food and Drugs Authority. And the authority is warning women in Ghana against the growing trend of taking pills during pregnancy, all in a bid to lighten the skin of the unborn babies while they are still in the womb. Well, medical experts say these illegal drugs are likely to cause birth defects, including damage to limbs and internal organs. At a news conference in Cape Coast, the Food and Drugs Authority said using glutathione pills for this purpose was dangerous and warned the general public that no such product had been approved by the FDA. Richard Kojonyako has more.
The practice of pregnant women taking pills to bleach the skins of their unborn children is growing very fast in Ghana, according to the Food and Drugs Authority. The head of Cosmetics and Household Chemical Substance Department of the FDA, Emmanuel Nkrumah, intimates these pills are often smuggled into the country inside luggage at airports in large quantities. Although comprehensive data has not yet been gathered, the FDA says market surveillance and stakeholder activity have helped to reveal the trend among women across socioeconomic divides. He warns the FDA has not yet approved any such pill that is to be used for such an activity.
Now we can attest to the quality, safety, and the efficacy of these tablets or pills. Why then subject yourself, if you are pregnant, for this purpose of making a young baby, an innocent unborn baby, to look light?
Emmanuel Nkrumah warns the effect of taking such pills by pregnant women have damning consequences on the pregnant women themselves and their unborn children.
One of the ways or one of the effects is people will give birth to children who may have deformities in the form of no limbs, either leg or arm, or other physical deformities. Even that, if you get that, then you are lucky. Yes, I'm saying you are lucky because for some of them, the child will come out whole, but will have a more functioning kidney or liver, and that is even worse.
For now, according to the Food and Drugs Authority, security agencies are working together to arrest and prosecute companies and individuals in possession of such illegal tablets. Richard Kojonyako, JoyNews, Cape Coast.